Welcome to the deep dive. Ever wonder why some folks seem to just, well, click with wealth, while others always seem to be struggling?
It's a common question, isn't it?
Absolutely. So today, we're plunging into the ideas of Harv Eker, specifically from his book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind.
A really influential book for many people.
Right. And our goal here is to kind of extract the core insights, the things that might just flip the switch on your own financial thinking.
And what's really compelling about Eker's approach is this core idea that your financial success, it isn't just about, the tactics or strategies.
Right, not just the how-tos.
Exactly. It's deeply tied to your internal money blueprint.
Okay.
It's almost like this invisible program running in the background, and it shapes your financial results based on beliefs you might not even know you have.
Okay, this money blueprint, let's dig into that. The book suggests it's largely formed really early on, in childhood.
That's the idea.
Like a financial operating system we didn't consciously choose to install.
Precisely. Think back. What messages, what ideas about money did you pick up when you were young? Were they generally positive or maybe a bit scarce?
Yeah, things you heard maybe?
Exactly. The book really emphasizes how those early experiences, things maybe whispered at the dinner table, examples you saw from your parents or family, even specific, maybe emotional financial events you went through. All that stuff contributes to this foundational set of beliefs.
Okay.
And these can range from, common phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees.
Heard that one.
Right. Or even more limiting ideas like, oh, rich people must be greedy or corrupt.
And those just get stuck in your subconscious.
They do, and they start to feel like just the way things are, like undeniable truths.
And here's the kicker, as I get it from the book. These aren't necessarily based on objective reality.
Not at all.
They're just interpretations, right? Beliefs we've kind of absorbed along the way. But Eker says these beliefs can act like a ceiling on our potential, financially speaking.
Exactly. These limiting beliefs, they can function a bit like a thermostat. It's set to a certain temperature. You might try consciously to turn up the heat, maybe work harder, find new opportunities.
Work in the effort.
Yeah. But that internal thermostat tied to your blueprint keeps trying to pull you back down to whatever financial level feels familiar or right according to those old beliefs.
Pulls you back to that comfort zone, even if it's limited.
Exactly that. But the really empowering message here, the good news, is that this thermostat can be reset. You can recalibrate it.
Okay, so how do we start that recalibration?
Yeah.
The book seems to lay out a process, and step one feels like just recognizing these inherited beliefs.
Spotting them first.
Yeah, tuning into that inner voice, that dialogue we all have about money, and actually identifying the negative or restrictive stories we tell ourselves.
That self-awareness, that's absolutely the crucial starting point, because once you drag these beliefs out into the open, the next stage is understanding that they aren't like fixed laws of the universe.
They're not destiny.
No. Just because you heard something over and over growing up doesn't make it fundamentally true about the world or, importantly, about your capabilities.
Right.
And that understanding creates this mental space, a space for change, where you can say, okay, this is just a belief I picked up, not necessarily reality.
And then comes the more, active part, consciously choosing to swap those limiting beliefs for ones that actually support you.
Yes, the reprogramming. Eker uses an example like shifting from maybe a scarcity thought to something like, I am absolutely capable of building wealth and making a positive difference.
It's about deliberately planting and nurturing new, more helpful thought patterns.
And like this conscious reprogramming, it's not usually a one-and-done thing.
Right, takes work.
It takes ongoing attention, consistent effort. It's about catching those old patterns when they pop up and actively, consciously reinforcing the new narratives, the ones you want to live by.
Okay.
And this actually leads nicely into the concept of the wealth files from the book.
Ah, yes, the wealth files.
These are essentially 17 key differences. Distinctions in how Eker says wealthy individuals tend to think compared to, poor or middle-class individuals.
Well, 17 of them. That's quite a few. But they offer some really interesting contrasts. Let's maybe touch on a few key examples.
Good idea.
Okay, wealth file number 1. He contrasts. Rich people believe I create my life. Poor people believe life happens to me.
Yeah.
What's the real difference there? It sounds like responsibility, but maybe it's deeper.
It is deeper. It's about the underlying sense of agency. Control.
Okay.
People with what Eker calls a wealthy mindset see themselves as the architects, the primary creators of their financial situation.
They're in charge.
They understand external factors exist, sure,
Right.
but they believe their response, their actions, are what ultimately shape their outcomes. It's having an internal locus of control.
Gotcha.
On the flip side, the poverty mindset often means attributing your situation to forces outside yourself, the economy, the government, maybe blaming your upbringing.
Pointing fingers.
Essentially, yeah, positioning yourself as a passive recipient, like you're just getting buffeted around by life. It's subtle, but it's a huge difference in perspective on your own power.
That makes sense. It really is like being the driver versus just being a passenger, hoping the bus goes somewhere good.
Great analogy.
Okay, wealth file number 2 is also interesting. Rich people play the money game to win. Poor people play the money game not to lose. That points to a very different goal, doesn't it?
Absolutely. A fundamental difference in objective. Playing to win, that's driven by an ambition for, abundance, growth, actively seeking opportunities to expand financially.
Aiming high.
Setting your sights high, exactly. Aiming for significant gains, for wealth creation. Whereas playing not to lose, that's often rooted in fear.
Fear of losing what you have.
Precisely. The main goal becomes security, avoiding risk, protecting the little bit you might have. And the unintended consequence is often missing out on opportunities for real growth. It's that difference between really striving to thrive versus just trying to survive.
Thrive versus survive. I like that. Okay, then number 3. Rich people focus on opportunities. Poor people focus on obstacles. This feels very connected to the last one.
It really does. It speaks directly to how different mindsets react when something new comes up, be it a challenge or a potential venture.
So how does that play out?
Well, faced with a potential opportunity, someone with that wealth mindset, their first thought is typically something like, okay, how can I make this work?
Solution-oriented.
Yes, they're naturally geared towards finding solutions, seeing possibilities even when there are difficulties. But someone operating from a poverty mindset, their instinct is often to immediately list all the potential problems.
All the reasons it won't work.
Exactly. What if this goes wrong? What if that happens? All the risks. It's a basic difference in orientation. One actively looks for the opportunity, the other gets stuck on avoiding the obstacles.
Okay, one more quick example. Wealth file number 4. Rich people admire other successful people. Poor people resent them. This one definitely pushes against some common feelings out there about wealth.
It does, and it's quite profound. The insight here is that how you feel emotionally about other people's success can actually impact your own ability to attract wealth.
How so?
Well, resentment, Eker argues, often comes from a deep-seated belief in scarcity. The idea that there's only so much wealth to go around, so if someone else has a lot, that somehow means less for you.
Like a fixed pie.
Right. Whereas admiration comes from more of an abundance perspective. It recognizes that success often leaves clues, strategies, inspiration you can learn from.
Okay.
The book suggests that genuinely celebrating other success actually opens you up energetically, mentally, to the possibility of your own success. It shifts your focus.
Wow. It really is striking how these mindset shifts can ripple outwards, affecting actions and results. And the book then moves on to the power of commitment, right?
Right.
Talking about declarations and actions.
Yes, this is critical. This is where the internal changes start to become, real in the outside world.
How does that work? Declarations.
Declarations, as Eker puts it, are basically about stating your new beliefs and intentions out loud, vocalizing them.
Why out loud?
The act of speaking them helps to kind of anchor them, solidify them in your subconscious mind. It reinforces your commitment. It's almost like making a formal promise to yourself, but with energy behind it.
Okay, like programming yourself.
In a way, yes. But it's not just about saying the words, is it?
No, definitely not. It's got to be backed up by action. Consistent action, even if it's small stuff at first.
Exactly right.
Right.
Those actions reinforce your evolving identity. You start acting as if you are the person capable of building wealth.
You embody it.
You embody it. And those small, consistent actions, they build momentum. It's like, think about launching a rocket ship.
Okay.
It takes a huge burst of energy, right? Just to get off the ground, break gravity. But once it's moving in space, it takes much less effort to keep it going.
I see.
These small financial commitments, saving a little bit, reading a financial article, they build that crucial initial momentum. That leads to maybe some small results, which boost your confidence.
And that creates a positive feedback loop.
Precisely. A positive cycle that starts attracting more success, more opportunities. Momentum breeds results, results build confidence, confidence attracts more wealth.
Okay, so we've covered the mindset shifts, the wealth files, the importance of commitment through declarations and actions. Then the book gets into some practical, tangible steps, doesn't it? Because mindset isn't everything on its own.
Absolutely crucial point. Mindset needs action. Eker strongly recommends very concrete steps like setting up a dedicated financial freedom account.
Even if you start small.
Even if you start with, say, $5 or $1, the act of creating it, naming it, and putting something in it regularly is a physical signal, a manifestation of your intent to build wealth.
It makes it real.
It makes it real.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the vital importance of consistent saving and investing, making it a habit, regardless of how much you earn right now.
It's about building the muscle, the habit itself.
Yes, consistency is the absolute cornerstone. It's not about finding the next hot stock or timing the market perfectly. It's about sustainable habits that, compound over time.
Like planting seeds?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the book also offers a specific framework for managing money, suggesting how to allocate your income.
Right, the percentages. Can you quickly recap those?
Sure, the suggestion is something like 50% for necessities, your basic living costs.
Okay.
Then, crucially, 10% goes straight into that financial freedom account for investing, building passive income.
The growth engine.
Yes. Then 10% for long-term savings, maybe for bigger purchases. Another 10% for education books, courses, seminars to improve yourself.
Investing in yourself.
Definitely. Then 10% for play money, specifically set aside to enjoy, to nurture yourself, which is important for avoiding burnout.
Have some fun.
You have to. And finally, 10% for giving charity, helping others.
So it's quite a balanced approach.
Very balanced. What's really insightful is how holistic it is. It's not just about piling up cash. It acknowledges enjoying life now, play, investing in your future growth, education, FFA, and also contribution giving. It frames wealth as something bigger than just numbers.
That makes a lot of sense. And the book kind of wraps this up with that powerful quote, how you do anything is how you do everything. What's the implication there for finances?
That quote really ties it all together. It suggests that your attitude and habits towards even small financial things, how you handle a small refund, whether you track small expenses, that reflects your broader mindset.
So if you're careless with small amounts.
You'll likely be careless with large amounts, too, if you ever get them. The patterns repeat. So cultivating mindfulness, intention, discipline, even in the tiny day-to-day financial actions, is actually training for handling bigger wealth successfully.
It's all connected. Wow. So as we wrap up this deep dive into secrets of the millionaire mind, it feels clear that the perspective here goes way beyond just, budgeting tips or investment picks.
Oh, much deeper. It's really about understanding the inner game of wealth. Recognizing that lasting financial success isn't just built on spreadsheets, but on a solid foundation of empowering beliefs and, importantly, consistent aligned habits.
So the core message really hammers home that your internal world, your mindset, your blueprint, it directly shapes your outer financial reality.
That's the essence of it. By consciously looking at, challenging, and actively reshaping that money blueprint, you genuinely open up new pathways, new possibilities for financial growth, and, well, abundance.
And the really encouraging part, as the book keeps reminding us, is that the potential for this change, it's already inside you.
It is. It's not about finding some external magic bullet. It's about cultivating awareness, making deliberate choices, and then taking that consistent action, step by step.
Which leads us to a final thought, maybe something for you, the listener, to ponder.
Yeah.
How might identifying and then actively challenging just one specific limiting belief you hold about money right now, how might that tangibly shift the financial decision you make, say, this week or this month? And where could that lead long term?
That's a powerful question. Really digging into that one belief could genuinely be the starting point for a significant transformation in your financial future.